Get into Carson Palmer's face to disrupt his passing game.
Here's the no huddle. Rudy Johnson chopped down though at the 45 by Derek Johnson.
Rudy Johnson, the ball carrier. He was sealed in by Derek Allen, tackled by Derek Johnson.
Seems they're better off being a no huddle and not a hurry up. But last play they hurried to the line to snap it quickly.
Well, what's the difference really between a no huddle and a hurry up?
Well, no huddle, you just don't huddle. And you're calling the play and you're taking your time. And you still have the implied deal that you're pressuring the defense. So you're hurrying up, you're literally getting to the ball and snapping it.
Kansas City had too many men in the field on the last play. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
And that's why you hurry up. And that's why Carson Palmer had him get right to the ball, because they had 12 guys on the field.
And when we talked to Herman Edwards on Friday after practice, he felt confident about facing Cincinnati's no huddle offense.
But they get you in a pace, and all of a sudden they went off pace. You know, they were allowing him plenty of time to substitute before, and then they went to a real quick. I mean, they just suddenly just hurried up the hurry up.
First down and 5 at the 34. Rudy Johnson. And Rudy Johnson picks up a couple. Rudy came into this season after rushing for 1,454 yards in 2004 and 1,458 yards in 2005, saying that he guaranteed that he'll get 1,500 yards rushing this season. Off to a good start today, 18 carries, 74 yards, 2nd and 4. The handoff, Rudy Johnson.
One of the big misnomers when people think of a hurry up and a no huddle, I guess we all tend to think of the Indianapolis Colts, and I associate that with passing. And Carson Palmer was pretty quick to point out last night that, you know, don't confuse the two, offensively at least. You know, he says we'll run the ball about a 50-50 mix when we get in this no huddle.
Rudy Johnson picked up 9 yards there. 19 carries, 83 for Rudy. 1st and 10 at the 24. Now Palmer changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Rudy Johnson. And Johnson wrestled down from behind. Kavika Mitchell.
Gus, I'm not sure if he's changed the play one time today that it wasn't a run. Seemed like they're going into this no huddle with kind of a two-play system, kind of like the Colts will do on occasion. They'll have one run and one pass. They look at the defense, and so far it's been all opting to the pass, to the run.
Carson Palmer and the Bengals doing exactly what Herman Edwards wants to do eventually with Kansas City. Use your run to kill the clock, although you have a high-powered offense. Rudy Johnson again. And Rudy Johnson stopped by James Reed, but the clock keeps running, and that brings up 3rd down and long.
See, now actually, instead of being on the line of scrimmage, now you have a 3rd down. There's no reason to hurry up or no huddle. You get back and you get back in the huddle, and you be sure everyone knows exactly what they're going to do. Plus, if now you have 2 plays called, they're both passes.
Chad Johnson splits wide to the top of your screen. Kenny Watson is in the game at tailback. Chris Henry at the bottom of your screen at receiver. Over the middle, broken up at the last moment. Good defense by Patrick Surtain. And that will force the field goal unit to come on for Cincinnati.
Oh, Kansas City needed that to be an interception. Palmer kind of doing a fall away because he was getting pressure in his face from Wesley. And Surtain had a chance to intercept that one, and they really needed to keep these points off the board and make this a turnaround and a turnover.
Brings on Shane Graham to attempt a 42-yarder. He's good from 37 yards out today. This one is up and good. 11:35 to play in the 4th quarter. Bengals take a 20-3 lead. Welcome back, Cincinnati, with a 20-3 lead. And here's the update on Trent Green. He's still in the stadium. and he has feeling in all of his extremities, but he doesn't remember what happened. So once again, Trent Green is still in the stadium. He has feeling in all of his extremities, but he doesn't remember what happened.
That is great news in the short term, Gus, and very concerning in the long term.
Dante Hall at the 5. Dante Hall. And he gets up to the 38. A 32-yard return. Medea Williams with the tackle. Damon Hewart is going to have to step up. Tomorrow, Dave's All New with Martha Stewart, plus music from Justin Timberlake. And later this week, don't miss Ashton Kutcher, Johnny Knoxville, The Rock, and a special top 10 with NASCAR drivers. Damon Hewart in the game, gives it to Larry Johnson, and Johnson runs over the right side, tackled by Brian Simmons. No gain on the play.
No real mystery for the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They've seen Damon Hewart now, and they're just going to attack Larry Johnson. And they're going to take liberties down the field as far as in coverages and whatnot, take some chances if they are passes, and go after the Chiefs quarterback. That tells you a little bit about how effective this Chiefs offense has been for the last four or 5 years.
2nd and 10, Hewart to pass. Over the middle, Larry Johnson with the reception. And Larry Johnson is taken down by Caleb Miller. He gains 8 yards on the play.
So, you know, here's a situation when your starting quarterback's down and your starting quarterback's gone. You know, the saying you hear a lot is everybody's got to raise their game. Well, in my mind, how the heck do you raise your game? You weren't trying before? You know, you've got to be more exact. The details of your assignments. If you're in this offense for Mike Solari, the offensive coordinator you see there, you've got to do everything exactly to the letter, and that'll help out Damon Hewart.
3rd down and 2. Hewart to the sideline, incomplete intended for Dante Hall. What does Solari do for Damon Hewart? Does he have to condense the offense?
Well, there's not much you can do. I mean, to me, a backup's job is to be able to come in and not experience a fall off. And the other job a backup has is if the starter has to miss any significant time, your job as a backup is 500 is worst case scenario without the starter. That's a backup's job. If you miss 4 games, you got to be at least 2-2 if you're the backup. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be working in the NFL as a backup quarterback.
And they fake the punt. They fake it and pick up the 1st down. Jarrett Page, the rookie safety, picks up the 1st down. Herm Edwards gambling, and it pays off.
Little trickeration from the Chiefs. I like it. Herm taking a chance. Offense isn't getting much light. His center and the punt team, Kendall Gammons, puts a little floater up there, and Page, the rookie out of UCLA, does a nice job of taking advantage of getting that offense their 1st down.
So the Kansas City offense takes over at midfield. Larry Johnson in motion out of the backfield. Over the middle, and caught by Parker. And Parker is hog-tied at the 36. 13-yard gain. Delta O'Neal with the tackle. Now some hurry-up offense being used by Kansas City.
Because Cincinnati is trying to do something a little different. Medea Williams was way up on the line on Tony Gonzalez. They were taking liberties, and they got burned taking liberties.
Hewart steps up in the pocket, wants to run. He better get down, and he does at the 30. Caleb Miller, again, no, make that Landon Johnson with the tackle. Hurry-up offense being used by the Chiefs.
Early on, this no-huddle effect is having the same plus and zip to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hewart lost it, loose, recovered, still loose, picked up, and that's Justin Smith with the fumble recovery, and it's the 3rd turnover of the day.
That's just like the last one, Gus. Remember, you haven't been in a game, you haven't been around real live action where people have considerable ill will for you. You've got to learn and adjust and take care of the ball, and that's exactly what Damon Hewart did not do. He gets in the huddle, he gets in the pocket, he gets the pressure, Black gets beat.
It's our house, it's our game. Win on 3, 1, looking. Chad Johnson, end zone, touchdown, Chad. Carson Palmer just carving up, having his way with him.
Man, that was strong. And he's thrown his third touchdown pass of the day.
Carson rolling right and looking, throwing back at the end zone. Chad's there, touchdown.
Marvin Lewis's team has picked up on where they left off last year, forcing 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and an interception. And right now, Cincinnati has a 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 44-yard line. Carson Palmer, 13 of 18, 127 yards. Hands it off to Rudy Johnson. And Rudy Johnson is tripped up at the 40 by Jared Page, the rookie safety out of UCLA.
And again, we get another case where they come to the line probably with those 2 plays, run in pass. Last time, and again, he sees something he likes and he goes to the pass and goes to the run and avoids the pass.
Carson Palmer taking his time, using all of the play clock on 2nd down and 7. Draw play, Rudy Johnson, and Jared Allen stops him. A gain of 1. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
Jared Allen's got to get a new chin strap. Seems like every time he makes a tackle, his helmet pops off. There's that fumble play again. And the one thing I want to point out is, you know, this is not like bad protection. This is a great pocket. If you're the quarterback in this position, you got to know, if I'm going to step up, I got to take care of the ball. Justin Smith does a great job of rallying, popping that out, then hanging with it for the recovery.
Palmer dancing out of the pocket, Carson Palmer, and he dives forward at the 33-yard line. Flag on the field, though, on the far sideline at the 42. And the Bengals are pointing in the direction of the Chiefs.
I'd say that knee looks pretty good. Carson Palmer getting outside of the pocket and running around.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Talk about him getting out and getting around. It's exactly what he does. And the play was, the call was back in away from the call. The chop block occurred inside. You see that pretty good sized brace right there on that left knee. That was actually, he was wearing some form of a brace before he was hurt, when he was hurt in that playoff game last year against Pittsburgh. They had to get him out of the old brace and into the new brace because Marvin Lewis said he was doing it subconsciously, but he was kind of dragging his leg around in the old brace.
3rd down and 21 at the 45. Here's Carson Palmer, steps up, breaks a tackle, bounces out, throws it up the field, and it's incomplete. Patrick Surtain couldn't keep both feet in bounds for the interception, so Cincinnati will have to punt it away.
Well, Carson Palmer showed some pretty good leg strength there by getting a chance to kind of shrug off that pass rush. Yeah, it's only Jared Allen coming from the outside, and Surtain does a nice job of hanging in there and getting that, coming down with that ball. But it's pretty impressed with the fact that Palmer didn't go down easy. Usually somebody with a bad leg would go down and get hit like that.
Kyle Larson from the 30. Dante Hall is at his own 10. Dante Hall starts from the 14. Flag on the play. And this will go against Kansas City. Looks like a clip.
Yeah, probably a block in the back, yep.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Number 35, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
I think Lenny Walls, he's not happy, and he has reason to be. I didn't see that as being in the back. That was on the side.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, the dust at Ground Zero, it ended up in the lungs of thousands of workers, and many of them are now getting sick. Katie Couric reports in her first 60 Minutes.
So Kansas City has to treat this as their last chance with the ball. They really do. Because Cincinnati's got the ability to go away with it if they give them back the ball.
Draw play, Larry Johnson. And Johnson picks up a first down and some. He gets over the 25. Brian Simmons tracks him down. Larry Johnson rushing the football, picks up 18 yards, 16 carries, 67 yards for Larry.
You move to the 6-minute mark, Gus. There's no need to move too fast. Just kind of move with a purpose if you're Kansas City. You do need to score pretty quickly.
Kansas City with the edge in time of possession. Larry Johnson again, a draw play. Brian Robinson there, picks up a yard.
That doesn't show me too much faith in my pass protection. If you're down 17 points with 6 minutes to go in the game and you're running draws.
Heward down the seam. Tony Gonzalez, great catch in traffic at midfield. Gonzalez picks up 21 yards. He took that one away from Landon Johnson.
Just to remind you why Tony Gonzalez is Tony Gonzalez. Perfectly covered by Johnson. And that ball is just put up right over his head, and Gonzo goes up and gets it.
Heward over the middle. Larry Johnson with the catch. And Johnson stays on his feet and gets down to the 26. Delta O'Neal with the tackle, but it's a 23-yard gain.
And there's a little bit more of that deceiving speed, Gus. See, now this is the offense you expect down 14, down 17 points. You got to go zip, zip, get it down, and you got to stick it in, and then get the ball back quickly.
Heward setting up a screen, and he's going to have to dump this one. Cincinnati reading the play extremely well. Trying to set up a screen with Larry Johnson, and that brings up 2nd and 10. Larry Johnson has gone 9 straight games with at least 100 yards. That may come to an end today. He has 4:39 left. Johnson 17 carries, 68 yards.
Key right now for he and the Chiefs is he's got to just contribute. The heck with how he gets the yards, get the yards.
To the sideline, caught. Dante Hall, nice grab. Jonathan Joseph didn't time that one correctly for Cincinnati. He's a rookie, 4-yard gain.
I mean, do the math with this much time, Gus. 4:34 left. You're down by 17. You need 3 possessions. You got to get a quick in, get it back quickly again right after this if you don't onside kick it. Because if you give them back the ball, they will put it to sleep. So you need it back 3 times, including this possession.
Heward in trouble. Finds Gonzalez, who gets to the 12. Heward took a heck of a hit. Staying in the pocket until the very last moment. 11-yard gain.
See, but he's getting the protection. He's getting the ability to step up into that throw. The people aren't, the line isn't in his face. It's a good job. He knew the shot was coming. He stepped into it, and he took it.
Heward pumps, looks backside. Gonzalez incomplete. Madieu Williams breaking it up, and he's had an awesome game. Madieu Williams.
This is his first real game back in action after injuring that shoulder last year, having to have the surgery and sitting out. I mean, he said it just killed him sitting and watching.
Only had 3 starts last year. He can play 3 different positions in the secondary.
And what you've seen today, Gus, that's a Madieu Williams game. He can break it up. He can pick it off. He can put a little hammer on a runner. That's his style.
Came up with an interception. Also has had some good plays on special teams.
Marvin wants to stop this thing up a little bit and get this momentum off the Kansas City offense.
But takeaways, it's the story once again for Marvin Lewis's Cincinnati Bengals.
It's I always mention points off turnovers in the same breath and in the same sentence when I talk about takeaways, because when you get takeaways, it's about doing something about it. It's kind of like mentioning red zone offense without saying red zone touchdown. When you get the ball and you turn it over, you've got to get points. And that's something that Marvin Lewis's offense has really specialized in. When that defense gives them the ball, they do something with it. 153 points off turnovers last year, and well on their way to adding to that total this year.
44 takeaways last year. 3 takeaways today. Second down and 10 at the 13-yard line. Heward to the corner. Tony Gonzalez with the catch. Out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Kevin Casefaharn ushering him out of bounds.
And this Bengals defense is going to keep everything in front of them. And they're going to give you all the short little passes you want at this point. Because the clock is their friend. It's running and it's under 4 minutes.
Heward in the end zone, and he just dumps this one. Brings up 4th down and 6.
Yeah, I think if Damian Heward were running this offense on a more regular basis, he would learn to love Tony Gonzalez a little bit more. And when I watch this offense and they start getting in this part of the field, that's the first guy I think of. You already saw what kind of catch this guy can make earlier in this drive. That's the guy you got to find if you're Damian Heward.
Dante Hall in motion. Heward down the middle, touchdown Gonzalez. And that is the 57th career touchdown reception for Tony Gonzalez. He needs 6 more TDs to pass Shannon Sharpe for most TD receptions by a tight end in NFL history.
Well, pick a tight end, whether it's Tony Gonzalez or Shannon Sharpe or Ozzie Newsome or Antonio Gates. They have that ability to go get it. Wasn't open. You thought he was open, you're nuts. Just got to have the faith. You got to give your tight end the ball in that situation.
Extra point is up and good. Tony Gonzalez with only 2 touchdowns all of last season. 3:52 to play.
Well,
20-10.
Cincinnati, Gus, has to get the hands team ready because this has got to be an onside kick. Great release off the ball. There's defenders around him. Medea Williams tried to get a shot on him.
Sunday this fall, see why The Amazing Race has won the Emmy for Outstanding Reality Show 4 years in a row. A new Amazing Race begins next Sunday after 60 Minutes on CBS, America's most watched network.
Now remember, there's a new rule this year with these onside kicks. You have to have at least 4 guys on each side of the kicker. It used to be you could basically run everybody over to one side and go ahead and kick it over there. It's a player safety rule. I know they're setting up for a normal kick. You know, with 3:52, you're down 20-10.
Now here comes the onside.
Yep.
Look.
See, remember, 4 guys. Here's 4 guys on the side of the kicker. And nothing says they can't get a run and start in that direction, but they have to start with 4 guys on that side. See,
and Cincinnati calls a timeout.
You know why? They didn't have their hands team on. They had their return team on. They had defensive linemen and offensive linemen in there. And I love linemen to death. Obviously, I'm a bit prejudiced about that, but you don't want them near the ball, not in this situation.
Of heart. And it goes out of bounds. Kelly Washington couldn't hold on. So Cincinnati will get the ball at the Kansas City 43.
That's a smart job by Kelly Washington, because you contact it and you knock it out of bounds. It's as good as a recovery. And I tell you, this triumphant's probably too strong a word, but extremely effective start by Carson Palmer coming back from that knee injury.
The official numbers for Carson Palmer: 13 of 19, $127, no touchdowns, but no interceptions.
But you know, his leadership isn't in there. You can't measure what he does for this offense just by looking at those numbers and saying, well, that's not a real spectacular day. He's called the audibles. He's led this team. He's been the difference.
First down at the 47. Rudy Johnson. And Rudy Johnson hit from behind. He gets to the 45. Tamba Hali with the tackle, a 4-yard gain. And Tamba Hali has had a very good game in his first game in the NFL.
He has.
He's made some plays.
But he's going to face now, you talked about facing Big Willie and facing Levi Jones and this offensive line that, from stem to stern, Levi Jones, Eric Steinbach, Rich Braum, Bobby Williams, Willie Anderson has done a fabulous job in this football game. And now you're looking at the 4-minute offense. And the 4-minute offense, you hate to hear that term as a defender, because offenses love doing that. Running back stays in bounds, make the other team call their timeouts, be efficient, get first downs, and make them pay.
Ever wonder what happened to the people you went to school with? This group of friends is about to find out. The Class, a new comedy premiering Monday, September 18th on CBS, America's most watched network. 2nd and 7 at the 44. Washington in motion. The handoff, Rudy. And Rudy is dropped at the 45. Derek Johnson with the shoestring tackle. And Kansas City calls another timeout. They have one remaining.
They had 10 guys near the line of scrimmage, counting the quarterback, the cornerback on the top. There were 10 guys within about 3 or 4 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Rudy Johnson, 25 carries, 90 yards. Did his knee get down?
Yeah, the right knee touches down. The left, you couldn't see it, but that right knee touched down. Let's see.
I don't know.
We'll get a good view here. His forward motion is stopped.
No, it didn't go
never
down.
did.
It actually didn't
Never
go down.
did. But as we all know, once that whistle blows and they haul the play, you can call it wrong, you can call it inadvertent, but you call it the stop, the end. Done.
3rd down and 7. Johnson likely done for the day.
So far, nice job through the first 2 downs by this cheap defense trying to get the ball back.
They pitch it. Kenny Watson. And Watson ridden down at the line of scrimmage, so Cincinnati